When we find out that one of us has non-Hodgkin lymphoma, we take it very personally.
Welcome, everybody. This is our latest update to the community of interest on our cancer study for our missile community folks.
The missile community cancer study started in January of 2023 when it was brought to my attention by Air Force Global Strike Command Surgeon General at the time, where there was a concern that there was some relationship between service and the missile community with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I contacted the Secretary of the Air Force at the time, and the Chief of Staff of the Air Force at the time, and I said, I want to be in charge of this. Not that I had any lack of faith with other organizations leading this effort, but I wanted to make sure it was the operational command responsible for the mission that had the direct connection, and that's when we started building the team.
Two questions. One, did we cause cancer? And two, are people safe today? And so those are two kind of separate questions and two different specialties that can answer that question.
The study was designed with two primary components: the environmental sampling efforts and the epidemiological review. I would say that the two parts of the study working together have an additive or a synergistic effect because the environmental sampling efforts really captures the current state of the missile community's working environments, whereas the epidemiological review goes back and covers the cancer incidence and the cancer mortality for decades, and we're able to evaluate the cancer risk for generations past for the missile community as well.
So we did numerous constituents in the water, specifically looking at like volatile organic compounds and pesticides and herbicides that may have been introduced to the wells out in the missile field from the surrounding agriculture.
So we did multiple rounds of testing across different seasons. I think they did 3 different rounds of testing, like a spring, a summer, and a fall, just to see if certain things were higher.
We took a lot of soil, water, air, and swipes. Swipes are, of course, the big thing in the study because the swipes were what helped us figure out where the PCBs were, what their concentrations were.
th Air Force got right involved and started setting up how we actually mitigate and clean up those PCBs.
At first, it was amazing airmen and civilians going out there to clean those sites and get them down to acceptable EPA levels. But now we have turned to a contract service who specializes in PCB cleaning. So we're using them to clean those sites. And then, of course, if it's something that can't be cleaned, we're looking at equipment replacement. We're looking at, personal protective equipment. What do we need to do to keep the members safe when they serve in those sites? And until those sites are safe, we do not let people back in them.
I can't test the past. Environmentally, I can't go back and say, well, what was the health risks 10 years ago? I can't test that. All we can do is then look as the people that served our country, that served inside the missile or cancer field, that served our national defense, did they have an increased cancer burden with time?
We started with the most accessible data sources, those available to us from the DoD electronic healthcare record and the DoD cancer registry system, and then we added on the electronic health record data from the VA and the cancer registries from the VA. For cancer mortality, it's a little bit more straightforward. We use National Death Index data, and now we are pulling in data from individual state cancer registries.
So the study is very personal to me, not only because I'm a missileer, but also because all my friends are missileers. We're a very small community and we all know each other. So when we find out that one of us has non-Hodgkin lymphoma, we take it very personally.
I know some older missileers that I've either come in contact with through different travels, that one right now that's going through chemo and has cancer.
If it's related to maintenance in general, I can't say, but I do personally know about 4 people who've been diagnosed with cancer in the past.
One of the guys that I pulled a couple alerts with, at least in memory, was Mark Holmes. And Mark was one of the gentlemen that passed a couple years of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's odd to, be at 41 and know that some of my peers and some of the folks that I pal around with and bite up with aren't here with us anymore, and it might be potentially due to things that they did while they were on war with me.
My ROTC detachment commander, when I was coming up, actually did die of cancer fairly recently. Was a missileer as well here at Malmstrom. It hit home to me at that point in time, because this was somebody who really helped mentor me quite a bit through my commissioning source, and part of why I got involved in this process. I cared quite a bit about that. He was an important guy to me.
So, are the concerns being heard? Yes, much more now than they were in the past. I remember when I first started pulling crew in 2006, it was kind of one of those, like, you had to be losing a leg or an arm or other significant body part to not go on alert. Same thing with the defenders and the maintainers. We've definitely come a long way in terms of addressing people's concerns and making sure that, hey, things are safer and better for them.
It was really nice, quite honestly, to sit on those teleconferences and then listen to General Boussier and the generals up there explain in a no-filtered environment of, hey, this is why we're doing this.
It's very encouraging to see a much more robust study. It's very encouraging to see our senior leaders, not just at the wing commander level, but at the 4-star level, saying that this is a priority. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We owe this to not only our active duty airmen, but also to our veterans, our retirees, and anybody who was exposed to this particular environment. And we're not done yet. We're going to continue doing the research, continue to test the levels of whatever contaminants we have in those work environments.
We have an obligation to make sure that the environments, the weapon systems, the platforms that we ask our airmen to perform their mission in are safe, and if there's risks, that we have known risks, we understand those risks, and then we do what we can to mitigate those risks.
I hope the next generation can come into this career field, come into this job, and embrace it and love it and succeed, and that they don't have to feel like they're constantly looking over their shoulder or being cautious of exposure to something.
I probably think more about our current missileers, the younger missileers, and what we can do now to protect them so that 20 years from now they're not facing the same battles that a lot of our retired and separated missileers are facing.
For airmen that perform this mission in our missile wings, we are dedicated to make sure we understand what environment you're operating in. We're dedicated to fielding the new capabilities that eliminate the risk within the current construct. And we're dedicated to make sure that we have the institutional processes in place to account for health risks in the future for you and your families.